Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? I know it's been a while. I thought I'd do a little bit of responding to the comments. I think I've done 4 or 5 videos in the past where I just kind of fuck around and just read some of the stuff people leave. I rarely read the comments, but I figured it's been a while and let's get to it. Let's see, your first comment that I see, I actually just released a video just like a couple hours ago called Assertive Body Language and Getting Respect, in which I was basically giving advice to somebody who feels like they don't get respect from their peers, and I was made a video on ways you can use body language, eye contact, proper communication, and just things like that to get respect from people. Anyways, this person writes, they write, bro, you can't be confident if you're 29 years old and still living with your parents. No degree, no job, no career. What type of female is going to respect that? Most guys by 25 are starting into their careers and renting apartments. You're in your mama's basement at 29. Think about it, dude. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you how you're wrong. Now, he says that by the time people are 25, they're starting their careers. Now, let me tell you about when I was 25. When I was 25, I did have my own apartment. I had my own car. I was running my own business and working a day job and training Muay Thai and kickboxing full time. I was also engaged. I had a fiance at the time. But when I was 25, I also realized that that's not the kind of life I wanted. So I moved on and I did my own thing, and you're actually watching my videos, dude, so whatever, dude. And then you go on to say 29 years old, living with your parents. Well, number one, my parents are divorced. My mother's in Florida taking care of her sick and dying father. No, I don't have a degree, and who gives a fuck? I don't want to be in debt. I do have a job. I do make money. And what is a career? I mean, my career is living my life the way I want to, man. So I'm not even really. That is what I like to call sheeple mentality. Sheeple mentality. You, sir, are a sheep, and that's okay. Anyways, what else we got here? He says, hey, I'm from the UK. I want to teach English in Cambodia. Can I have your email address, please? I'd like to ask you more things. nojokestriking@gmail.com. Also, in the description box below, you guys will see a link to an ebook that I wrote when I lived in Cambodia. And a lot of it talks about how to get a job teaching English. It talks about getting an apartment. It talks about scams to avoid, things like that. Shaney Harvey writes, can you stop talking about black women in your videos and our hair? No. I will talk about whatever I want. If you do not like what I talk about, simply turn the channel and watch a black person talk about the same things you want to hear about. And this is actually in response in a video I made when I was in Ban Lung, Cambodia. I talked about dreadlocks, weaves, and I think it was like, what's the title here? Dreadlocks, weaves, and something about why I like black women or whatever. And for a while there, I was actually putting out videos, because that's kind of what I do on my channel. Like, I don't just talk about one thing. Sometimes I put out a video about Cambodia, sometimes I put out a video about licking a butthole, sometimes I put out a video about black girls with dreadlocks and whatever. And if, you don't like me as a white man speaking about, I guess, black women's hair, then you are simply racist. I made the video I made the video, Jesus Christ, talking about how I admire it. And to be straight up, when I see a white girl wearing dreadlocks, my first thought is she's probably got a stinky pussy and jacked up feet. But when I see a black girl with dreadlocks, it looks alright. And if me saying that bothers you, well, fuck you. I mean, really, whatever. He said, oh, yeah, this guy. So I put out a video the other day talking about big, beautiful black woman claims men reject her because she looks trans. Now, that's weird to me because men will still fuck trans women, even on Tinder or whatever. But they keep it a secret. And basically, I made the video. I was talking about, well, the reason she's not getting any dick is because, you know, she's undickable, essentially. And this guy saying, he said this video was funny. I hate it when people sugarcoat it. And look, man, no one is gonna help anybody by always hearing the sugarcoated version of the truth. All right. If you hear the sugar-coated version of the truth, you know, like for example, if you got a kid, let's say I have a son. Let's say I have a son, and my son is unathletic. He's, you know, socially inept, but he's smart and all. But he's just, you know, he's kind of like, you know, unathletic, dorky kid, whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell him that he's gonna be able to compete on a physical level with the bigger, stronger boys, because he's not. That's sugarcoating the truth. I'm not gonna sit here and tell him that you know, that he's something that he's not. And you know, that's just one small example. So basically, this black woman, this very large, obese black woman, and I'm saying that I'm just trying to paint a picture here. So fucking chill out, everybody. All right, put down your fucking keyboards and everything. You know, chill out. She emailed me, wanting me to stroke her ego. Her question to me was, hey, Brayton, why won't these guys respond to me on these online dating sites? So what am I supposed to say? All these guys are crazy and they're probably gay or whatever, or they're just racist because you're black, or they're fatophobe because you're overweight, or they're transphobe because they say you look trans? They're all crazy? No, it's because this lady is you know, straight up, she's unattractive. She's unfuckable. Or if you're watching, because you know what? I know this lady's still watching my channel. Or if you're not getting anything, it's because you're too picky. Anybody can get laid these days on online dating sites. Come on. Anybody can. It might not be what you want exactly, you know. Sometimes you want a slice of gourmet, you know, fucking pizza, but the best you can do is get a slice from 7-Eleven. You know, it might not be, you know, gourmet, but gets the job done. That's my point. This guy says, it looks like whites lose again, LOL, ha ha ha. Very, because I put out a video a few months ago talking about very legitimate reasons why Conor McGregor was going to beat Floyd Mayweather. Now, I actually haven't really talked much on that. Now, yes, he did lose to Floyd Mayweather. I do feel it was a bit of an early stoppage. However, I still think that Floyd would have finished Conor later in the fight. I just think that the ref did a bit early, but it was inevitable that Conor ran out of gas and he was going to lose. You know, as far as whites losing again, yeah, okay. I mean, look, black guys typically dominate sports like football, and when I say football, I mean like NFL, like American football, and they dominate sports like basketball. Typically, they usually dominate sports like boxing. Usually, right? It's true. I mean, it's undeniable. I mean, just fucking look. There it is. And they dominate things, you know, they dominate, you know, sprinting or running or any kind of sports like that, right? But interesting about mixed martial arts is that black guys don't always dominate in mixed martial arts. Because boxing is a lot about agility, footwork, speed, hand-eye coordination, and maybe that's a trait that certain black people have more often than not than white people do. Does that kind of make sense? And it makes sense, because if you look at the fucking racial balance in the NFL, NBA, and boxing, it seems like, you know, the brothers typically dominate more and beat the white guys up in boxing, usually. Not always, but usually. But in MMA, that's not always the case. The cool thing about mixed martial arts is that you might have, for example, a guy who's very athletic, explosive, you know, whatever, you know, he's a fucking physical specimen, but then you got a guy who's kind of like pudgy, you know, and he's gotten made fun of his whole life, so he's used to eating shit all the time. He's kind of used to getting made fun of, and he's got stones for fucking hands, and he's in good condition. He's not scared of a guy because he's big and ripped. Well, guess what? In MMA, there's a very good chance that that chiseled Adonis might get his motherfucking head knocked in. And that happens a lot. Look up a guy, his name is Roy Big Country Nelson. Watch him knock out Czech Congo. He's this giant, jack black dude. You would never think that this guy would knock him out because Roy Nelson is a short, fat, mullet-headed, bearded, big belly gut. Done. So when people say whites lose again, I mean, yeah, it's all fun and games. But I will admit that you know, when it comes to certain sports, black people typically dominate physically just because of the genetics, you know. And I think a lot of that has to do with thousands and thousands of years of evolution. You know, it makes sense that black African people would be faster because of the type of predatory animals that live in that area. Because it is hotter, so so you're looser. You're more loose, right? Like they say how white people can't dance, right? They're all tight. Well, maybe because it's cold as fuck all the time, right? And they're not trying to dance, man. They're trying to build shit so they can stay warm. So I think climate, and I know I'm digressing here, but I don't even give a fuck. This is just a comment video. I think that climate has a huge it's undeniable. It's something that I'm going to talk about with my friend Lonnie on a b-hole soon. Climate has a lot to do with the way people are, just the way they think, the way they develop their societies. I think one of the reasons that Western society, like Northern European, like English, you know, French, Western society, whatever, advanced so quickly had a lot to do with the cold. Because when it's cold all the time, you gotta be resourceful, man. Like you gotta think. And I'm not trying to say white people are smarter than everybody, but I think you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Climate has a lot to do with the way people think, create, move. And I think that one of the reasons that black people typically are a little more athletic and faster than others are because for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and not even just black people, but like Southeast Asians, like fucking Thai, Cambodian, like those people are fucking quick, dude. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact it's so hot. Your bones are looser, everything's looser. You know, you got fast animals everywhere. You got fucking crazy bugs. There's tribesmen in Africa that spend 3 days chasing a deer. Yeah, kind of makes sense that black people dominate the NFL, huh? Am I making sense here? Or I mean, because you know, I feel like I'm making some sense here. I'm no anthropologist, but interesting thing. Speaking of anthropology, I was actually reading about this, and a lot of anthropologists break down race based on skull shape. Not by necessarily like hair or, you know, skin color, which most people do. It's typically by skull shape. And the three are, number one would be Mongoloid, which are like Asians. And then you've got Negroid. And then you've got Caucasoid, which would be like me, or even like Indian people or Middle Eastern people, right? And I just found that interesting. And one of the things that I read, and obviously Caucasoid, Negroids, and Mongoloids all have different size brain shells, and you guys can do your own independent research on that and form your own opinions based on that. I'm not going to get into that right now, but something that I read that I thought was interesting, a lot of Asian guys, well, pretty much all Asian guys aside from Indian, they don't typically grow facial hair like, say, I do. And I thought that was interesting, and one of the theories that I read was that where the Asian race essentially originated was in such a cold time, in such a harshly cold time, that having facial hair would have actually killed them, because the breath from their nose and from their mouth would come out as I'm a fucking idiot, Jesus Christ. It would come out as vapor, pardon me, it would come out as vapor, and then it would turn their beards and mustaches into ice, and therefore get frostbite on their face. But then that begs the question, you have Northern European white men with hella beards, and I don't know. So, race is very interesting, man. I mean, all in all, I'm probably an alien, let's just be honest, and that's cool with me. Let's see if I got here, let's see what I got here. Y'all need Jesus. Okay. Oh my god, oh, this guy's correcting my technique. I put out a video years ago called Easy Hip Mobility Exercises where I demonstrated this exercise in a CrossFit gym. And fuck all the CrossFit nerds, it's not a box. Alright, it's a fucking gym. Get the hell out of here. This guy, his name is Tormod Steinschult, and he's a white guy, so definitely look him up, Tormod Steinschult, and definitely troll the fuck out of this guy. He says, too bad the bottom foot is out of frame, because the timing of the foot twist and raising, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I retract that. He's right. He's right. Oh my god. You know what, Tom Steinschult? Dude, my apologies. My foot should have been in frame. And now that video is probably not going to be that effective because people couldn't see the technique fully. God damn it. This was years ago, man. I used to put out a lot of exercise videos, but you know I could do again, right? I'm starting to get my six-pack back. Starting to look good. Alright, alright, alright. Joseph Svensson writes. Joseph Svensson writes, I do... Oh, wait, check. Shit, let me check my time. Okay, I'm at 16. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to do one more comment. I'm going to wrap it up. Alright. I do running commentary, so why do people think they deserve sex or relationships? Interesting. Did you sign somewhere when you were born that you are owned sex and a partner? People must get real. You have to fight for your life. Oh, okay. So what? Alright, so what he's saying is this, look. Just because you exist doesn't mean that you deserve love. It doesn't mean that you deserve success. It doesn't mean that you deserve all the fruits of life. Sometimes you gotta work for it, you know. And in this case, I talked about this very large woman. It doesn't matter that she's black, but it matters that she's facially unattractive and physically she's just obese. And what this guy is saying is, look, man, you gotta take personal ownership for that. You can't be running around blaming other motherfuckers because they don't want to, you know, get with you. Like, you know, just because you exist, right, does not mean you're entitled to anything, okay? If I just let myself get fat and start getting tattoos on my face and start doing drugs all the time, and dude, like, no one's gonna want to be with me. What, should I feel entitled now? No. I have to you gotta try to make an effort to make yourself desirable. Just as you would want somebody to make themselves desirable. So, if anybody's watching and you got a weight problem, I used to have a weight problem too, and guess what? I made a decision, and I stuck with it, and, you know, I've been reaping the benefits ever since. It's just a healthier lifestyle. So, anyways, this guy says, I don't know shit about living in the black community. Yeah, I guess not. I know about being a white guy in a black community, which you, motherfucker, don't know shit about. Angela Duncan, right? You don't know shit about living in a black community. Okay. You're right. I mean, I know what it's like to live in a black community, and I know what it's like to live in a black community as a white guy as well. That's a perspective you don't have. Another guy writes, stay in your lane, white boy, LOL. Because I talk about how can black people be Christians. It's fucking hilarious how black people can be Christians. Like, my ex-fiance's mother was a hardcore Christian, and she didn't like me because I was white, and she also didn't like me because I wasn't Christian. So, she didn't like me because I didn't subscribe to a religion that evil white people like me forced upon her ancestors hundreds of years ago. Oh, guys, it's so much humor in the world, so much hate in the world. I like to talk about it sometimes. Anyways, guys, you want to shoot me an email, nojokestriking@gmail.com. Bitches, I deleted my Instagram, so whatever, facebook.com/nojokehoward. Like and share my shit. And like I said, guys, if you want to give me some video ideas or fan questions for the B-hole, like I said, nojokestriking@gmail.com. I love you all. Peace.